And so I said, and so I said to them, I
Mm-hmm.
said,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
you really shouldn't, you really should
Mm-hmm.
have canceled
Yeah.
the event because it was
Right.
Mm-hmm.
pouring rain.
Don't feel like watching movies, so I'll watch people guess them instead. I don't know how it goes, I think it starts with your show.
Guys, it's 58 degrees in my apartment, and it hasn't changed from being 58 degrees for days.
You have a fireplace, Joe. Maybe you should light that fire.
No, I'm not
Wait.
allowed. I'm not allowed. I'm not allowed to turn on the heat here.
Oh, you have people, you have members of your family that are against heated things?
Yes. Like, not even just the feel, but the smell. Like, as soon as the heater turns on, which I enjoy that smell because I grew up in a cold climate.
Little
And that
burny smell.
Mm-hmm, that little burny smell. It's a good smell.
But you know that smell, that's, well, even like in the, do you have central,
that smell?
You save it for your TikTok, Joe.
do you,
Make
do
one
you
a year.
have, thank you, Elliott. Do you have, central air?
Mm-hmm. We're
And you-
fancy. We're fancy.
And the heating from central air is not good either.
That's what I'm saying. That it gives us a nice little like smell. Yeah.
But you're not talking about the fireplace then when you talk
No,
about the smell.
no.
So
The
you can't even turn.
fireplace- The fireplace is a gas fireplace that has one of those like decorative
Like
log
flicker
thingies
flames?
in it,
Yeah.
and a flicker flame, and it hasn't been turned on. I don't know. I'd be afraid to even turn that thing on. Who
Um,
knows? Who knows
I-
what would happen?
You should tell your family that the smell that comes out of the ventilation system is due to a lack of use. And
That's true.
if you
But
used
they-
it enough, it would stop smelling like that.
Look, I'm at a if
I
we're
didn't know
being
that.
serious, I'm at the bottom of the hierarchy in regards to bodily feels in the place because my wife needs it very cold and she's dealing with a bunch of medical stuff and currently has COVID, so she's got the hot flashes and ups and downs of that as well. So
Is she
I'm
okay?
taking one for the team.
She's okay though?
She is okay in regards to no breathing problems yet.
Good.
She's got some congestion, a lot of body pains, but the things that you're super afraid of so far, so good. But
Sounds like
she's
it's
over
time
a
to turn the
weekend.
heat on.
Yeah, time to
Sounds
turn
like
it up.
it is time to turn the heat on.
Uh-huh.
Dude, but my son got it too, and it was like he never had it.
He's so gross.
He's just testing positive but still bouncing off the walls and just driving her crazy because they're in quarantine together. So
There is a character that usually Grace, but one of us will sometimes play on Mario Kart, who we call Jackson because he
one?
reminds us of Jackson. I believe his name is it Ludwig? He's
Oh,
got
okay. Yeah.
blue hair.
Oh, yeah,
Oh.
Ludwig. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
And
Is he from
Yeah.
is that the guy from Luigi's Mansion?
No.
Oh.
It's one of the Bowser Koopa kids. It's the one with the big blue
Oh,
hair.
yeah.
yeah,
Ludwig,
he
by
like
the
reminds
way,
me of
Ludwig
Jackson.
von Coop.
It reminds you of
But-
Jackson how?
Well, he's adorable.
Yeah.
He's mischievous. He's got a
Mhm.
mischievous
Yeah.
face, and it's like he got his eyes.
He got crazy ass hair. Elliot,
Did you guys know that Dilbert, the guy that created Dilbert, is racist?
Yeah,
Sorry,
we knew
that for a
sorry,
while.
Joe. Go ahead.
We-
I didn't
we
know
knew-
that. I
we
didn't
knew
know
that.
that.
Yeah, no, he's been an asshole for
This
a
is
long
news
time.
to me. I didn't know he was racist.
Did you know how and Elliot, you might enjoy this fact. Did you know that the Koopa Kids, for the most part, are named after rock legends?
No, like Ludwig van Beethoven.
Ludwig is one of the ones that is not, but is after a classic artist. But like
musician.
Iggy is one. He's named after Iggy Pop.
Oh,
I'd have to look up the rest off of the top of my head. Wendy is who's a classic Wendy singer, Steve? Wendy O?
Wendy. Well, it had to have been early days, so maybe Wendy Carlos, the composer.
Wendy Koopa Kids.
I don't know
name.
any famous Wendy's.
Hold on, let me just you guys fill.
There's
The
also
only
one named
Wendy I know
Gigi
is-
after Gigi Allen, the guy that would shit himself and cut himself open on stage.
Oh God,
Oh, my
sounds like a great
gosh.
show.
You guys are what? I'll see. If
Oh wait,
there's
here
a-
we go. Real
I'll
quick,
see
real
if there's a
quick.
good documentary about Gigi and recommend it to you guys because it is fascinating. Gigi
Okay.
Allen.
So some guy, when video games are made, most of them are made over in Japan, or at least back in the day, and then they would come over and they would need to be translated, and then somebody would be thrown on to hey, you get to be the random translation guy, and this guy would just like or girl would have to come up with like Americanized versions of everything, not just the story, but names and stuff. And they would just pull shit out of their ass, not knowing that maybe they were creating things that would go down in like video game history. So this guy had to do some of the translations. And here's what he said. Music has always been a big part of my life. I've been a DJ for years and have been a music collector for even longer. When I first saw the group of 7 Koopalings, music was on my mind. The hairstyle of one of them reminded me of Ludwig von Beethoven for some reason, and Ludwig von Koopa was born. Next was the one with the glasses. That has to be Roy Koopa in homage to Roy Orbison, who almost always wore glasses. Then Wendy O. Koopa was Wendy O. Williams. Iggy Koopa, Iggy Pop. One looked like a loudmouth, so he was Morton Koopa Jr. from the loudmouth talk show host Morton Downey Jr. And then there was Larry. There's no real world equivalent. He's not Larry Mullen Jr. from YouTube or Larry King. He just looked like a Larry. And that brings us to Lemmy and Steve, who is the biggest Lemmy.
Yes, Lemmy is Motorhead.
There you go. That's how they got their names. Isn't that cool?
That's very cool.
Wow, that's actually really. I also didn't know that.
You people, look, you guys, you listen to this podcast, you're going to learn stuff. I mean, that's what we do. It's an educational podcast.
We try.
You're not going to get this by Scott Adams. You know what I mean?
I mean, you'll learn some things from Scott Adams.
Wendy,
look, all I'm asking is that we listen to Scott Adams a little bit, Give me a couple minutes.
I read Scott Adams' entire book before I knew he was an absolute psychopath. And I actually really liked it.
Well, he's one of those.
Did you feel deceived?
I was like, oh, this guy's weird. And then I was like, it's a fun book. And then I was like, oh, he's bad. He's a bad boy.
Do you think he was always bad, or do you think he just went like a smart, eccentric guy, probably sat alone too long with his money, and over time, as his brain personality deteriorated, he became the Scott Adams that he is now?
Something deteriorated. I don't know. I'd love to ask.
Do you think you are like? Do you think that, like, are you guys afraid of your life changing too much by the time you get like real old, like your opinions getting like bad and stuff, things like that?
I think
I've never had the opposite. I'll let you know.
Yeah. Are you scared of being wrong someday, Elliott?
Oh my God, it keeps me up at night, but I've never experienced it, so I don't know what it even feels like. So I don't know if I would know when it happened.
When Elliott was 23, he went into permanent choice paralysis. He hasn't made a choice since 23 because the anxiety is so high.
Choice paralysis.
Do you guys feel like there is such a freedom in not having opinions?
Oh,
you
it's great.
Ever just try actively not have opinions?
Dude, I went on this like fucking like Enya rabbit hole
also
last
racist.
week.
Who has never
performed
a concert?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Well, she used to perform with her family. They did like chanty, like new agey type shit together.
That was just Thanksgiving dinner.
And then she realized that she's like way better than them, so she's like, I could do this on my own. And so she went off and did her Enya music. But yeah, she's never performed live as Enya.
She thought it was too complicated, right? Like it was like her.
No,
music
well, that's actually interesting that you bring that up, Joe, because she talks a lot. I watched this interview with her because she's also like famously reclusive and like she doesn't really like. You don't see her in public ever. She like lives in this castle in Ireland.
Well, and if you listen to Enya as like often as we did, which was as often as like we would, being whatever straight white-ish men,
yeah,
Steve included, but Enya made it into our zeitgeist vocabulary and music loves with like Return to Innocence and stuff like that, and we always enjoyed it. But you never knew who Enya was unless you looked it up and you did some internet searching. Like I would have thought Enya was a group or a collective.
Yeah, but no, Enya is one woman, and she has this collaborator that she makes all of her music with. But the way that we learned about Enya was
John Lennon, first of all, and the Beatles did not get along.
It's Lemmy,
John Lemon. But we We learned about Enya because of the Orinoco Flow, which a lot of people are like, what is that? Like whenever
I don't know what that is.
I hate when I'm so sad when people. Well, Elliot, I'm sad that you don't know
Okay.
what the Orinoco Flow is, but from today on, I think you're going to know.
He's
I've
probably
never
heard it,
heard
and
those
if he heard it,
syllables.
No,
You've
he's
never
heard it.
he's
He's
heard the
heard
song.
it.
Yeah.
You know the song. It's just the title is bonkers. It's almost like you know, Baba O'Reilly, that Who song. Everyone thinks it's called Teenage Wasteland because he says Teenage Wasteland in the song a bunch of times. But it's called Baba O'Reilly. But the Orinoco Flow, Elliot, I swear you've heard it. It's the one that's like, sail away, sail
Oh yeah,
away,
yep. I thought the
And
song was
everyone
called "Sail
thinks-
Away."
Exactly. Everyone thinks it's called Sail Away. But when that song came out,
This is what it feels like to be wrong. Holy shit!
Uh-oh. Elliot, are you okay?
What if he just starts throwing and breaking everything in his little apartment there?
I gotta call my mom.
Just stomp. What if he got up and started stomping around the room and he just didn't have any pants or underwear on?
And
his
jumped
dog
out the
just
window.
flopping around?
Dad, Mom, you're not gonna believe this. It finally happened.
It happened.
Something about Enya. I don't know.
And you said, no, I'm making love on my I made love on my wedding night, Mom.
Mom, I made love on my wedding night. Call me back.
Something happened. I made love.
Something happened.
Mom, I've made love. I've made love. But anyway, so the reason why I brought up Enya was because she just doesn't say a word. She doesn't have a Twitter. She doesn't, like, her opinion about anything is a mystery. But she's this well-respected artist who, by the way, also you were like, why isn't Enya like a bigger thing? People forget Enya did a song in The Lord of the Rings.
Oh, my goodness. I am learning
Did she
so
put
much.
it on the credits?
There are all these wonderful female artists that did credit songs for every Lord of the Rings movie. I think one of them's like Annie Lennox or something. I can't remember who the others are. But Enya did a song called May It Be, which I think was for the Fellowship.
May it be. You like that one?
And then that was sampled by Maybelline for a commercial campaign.
But yeah,
Maybelline.
Maybelline.
But she famously doesn't perform live. And Joe just said something that triggered my rabbit hole brain, because what I learned was that all of her music is her. It is just her.
Mm-hmm.
And she has this collaborator that does all of the technical stuff, like produces the album. But all of the voices, all of the instruments, everything is like her, apparently.
I need to do a real quick backtrack to where we are, do a little housekeeping. I said
housekeep.
Return to Innocence was Enya. I'm an idiot. That
I
was
thought-
Enigma.
Wait,
and
I
that
thought you
was really
said
dumb.
Joe, I didn't correct you because I thought you said Return to Innocence because we know about Enya because of those like pure moods.
Yes, and I just
Enya and
Enigma are on there.
Enigma.
Yeah. I
And
feel
by
really
the way,
stupid. Real
Enigma and Enya way too
Idiot.
similar.
Absolute moron.
I know. We're gonna laugh about you a lot later.
Yeah, that is so stupid.
Also on that
that.
Pure Moods album was Ennio Morricone. So everything's
exactly.
messed up.
But anyway, so I think, Joe, maybe you're onto something here. Maybe the reason why Enya doesn't perform live is because all of her music is like her. So it's like she'd have to do all these pre-recorded tracks or something, and maybe she doesn't want to do that.
They're
What
very
if-
complicated compositions.
Yeah.
What if she
What if-
tried to do it one time, but she herself got so bored that she fell asleep while performing?
Because she got sleepy.
I don't get the appeal of any. Do you guys rock that music regularly?
So here's
Non-ironically?
very quickly, here's what I'll say. The Orinoco Flow is a masterpiece of a song. It's
I feel
beautiful.
like you could be making that up. Okay.
No, I love the Orinoco Flow. I think it's a fucking amazing song. I have emotional attachment to it because it came
Okay.
out when I was a kid and it would be on the radio and I was like, that sounds like Labyrinth, but in music
Yeah.
form.
I see.
that's good. That's good. I like that.
I
like
really
that.
connected
comparison.
fantastical.
Take a left, take a right,
Right.
now go straight.
Yeah, exactly. Save
Oops,
your
you went
brother.
the-
Save.
You went the wrong way. Backtrack
Bowie's
now.
Bowie's bulge. Bowie's bulge. But I associated it sounded so fantastical and like a fantasy movie to me that I instantly fell in love with it. And then my mom fucking
Is Enya.
loves Enya. My mom is Enya. Could you imagine if this whole time my mom was Enya?
Oh, and by the way, my mom is Enya. That's
Dude,
crazy.
how cool would that be? Oh, that'd be so cool to be Enya's son. Anyway, but Elliot, to answer your question, my mom is a huge fucking Enya fan.
So it was steeped in your.
So it's like anytime I hear it, I instantly think of my mom. I instantly think of my childhood, and so there's like all these wonderful feelings there. So I'm not necessarily blasting it out of my car, unless it's a joke. But I have respect for Enya. Joe?
I have an emotional attachment to Enya as well, just because of that Pure Moods album, which I did rock the fuck out of probably for like 5 years. It was like my homework CD growing up, and I would listen to it constantly, and that's how I found Enigma. And I listened to Enigma on the radio. Like Return to Innocence was probably a top 40 adult contemporary hit, and I would listen to Delilah at like 8, 9, 10 at night I had a boombox in my bed with me, and I would listen to music as I would fall asleep. And I remember specifically Enigma's Return to Innocence coming on, and also Sadness by Enigma that would come on.
Dude, okay, so Sadness. I was just gonna pull up Sadness because who cares if we get the copyright strike? Sadness is such a fucking ridiculous song. So Elliot, you know Return to Innocence, right?
I don't know.
So it's the one that's like, oh yeah,
yeah, that's how.
I assume there goes the copyright. So that was incredible. That was a perfect.
Elliot, are you familiar?
I don't think I am.
I think you
I'm
know
not,
it.
I'm not maybe I would know it. Yeah.
I think
I'm
you
sure
know it. We're just not
probably
doing it. Doing
crack
it
one around in
justice.
there.
Well,
But anyway,
they got the chanting, but then they got this like very like smooth, higher register
Yeah.
voice guy coming.
Cool.
And it's like, if you want, then try to dance.
Yeah,
If you
it's a
must,
great song.
Then try to hide in yourself. Don't hide. Just believe destiny. Don't care what people say. Just follow your own way. Talk about them used to play. Your return to innocence, and then the chant comes back in.
We are gonna have so
anyway.
much fun at the nursing home when we're old. It's gonna be great.
I know. I'm gonna run karaoke night in the old folks' home. So here's the Enigma song called "Sadness." I'll just play a little bit of it, but I can't. Do you guys hear it?
No.
Okay, hold on. I'll tell you why in just a second.
Right after this.
Wait a minute, dude, that drop. Okay, so I have an idea in my head, and I really hope this happens. So hang on a second here. We're gonna go to this fucking song, dude.
We have effectively nerded out on Enya and Enigma for way longer than anybody would have ever expected.
I don't know, man. I think they deserve a little.
I'm not saying they don't. I'm just saying nobody would have expected this
been a
moment
while.
to happen.
I'm surprised we're still on it. I don't mind it. I just can't. It goes back to not having an opinion, I guess.
Oh fuck! I don't know now. Maybe I'm too high. I can't figure this out.
Well, you haven't been able to make audio work on the podcast for a while. I think there's something up with the
There's
updates.
something up, but so there's there's a in the song, Elliot. I'll try to be concise. It's just a really like. It's almost like you'd hear it in a softcore porn.
Wow. Okay.
Like it's like weird, like right, Joe? Like the Sadness song?
It's definitely different than Return to Innocence.
Yeah, definitely.
But still chanty. There's still some chantiness to it.
Let's see if this hear me?
I keep meaning to look at porn because I keep hearing people talk about it. So I need to write.
You're thinking the universe is telling you, giving you clues.
Like I keep forgetting. Yeah, like
dropping breadcrumbs.
I'm curious. That's another synchronicity.
I know what I need to do. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can't hear music, but we can hear
you. Okay, guess what? Now you're going to be able to hear music. Here we go.
Oh, he did it. There it is.
Listen to this shit.
Get ready. The drop is coming, Elliott.
Joe, can you do a TikTok
like
where
that.
you just do an erotic dance to this?
You guys act like I make more than one TikTok a year. I made my one TikTok. I'm done for a year.
No, Joe, do this.
It was a great TikTok, Joe. It was a great TikTok.
Joe,
Thank you.
can you please do this though? Please, just go to an alley, get a tripod and your camera, get a wide shot, and you're just in there erotically dancing to this song.
Maybe the Batman suit if you get crazy.
Dude, what if you were in the Jareth costume? Do you still have that? Do you still have the Jareth costume?
Oh, no. Man, that was a long time ago.
That was a good outfit.
I agree. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, check out Enigma. Check out Enya. Check out that Pure Moods compilation CD, Volume 1. A lot of great bangers on it, including the Twin Peaks theme and the theme from X-Files.
Yeah, but it was like a techno remix or something. It was like dude, I would love to keep talking about the reason why we even brought up Enya again was because her opinions are her own, and we've never heard Enya say shit about politics or anything.
I mean, we assume she is a vile racist, right?
Yeah, that's what we're saying.
Like a
It's in her
violent
music.
bigot.
Don't even Google what the Orinoco flow is.
She has that whole song called
eugenics.
I Love Dilbert. I love Dilbert, and I love who made Dilbert.
I love Dilbert.
I love Dilbert. I love Dilbert too.
Dude, I heard Enya was streaming the Harry Potter game, so she's done.
Yeah.
She's done for. But anyway, but her opinions aren't out there, and so now she's just this now all we have is her music. And I saw this interview, this rare interview with her, where at the end of it, she said basically that she just wants Enya to be her music and not her.
Love it. That's somebody
Good for
that's
her.
thinking one level deeper than the thing that she is making. It doesn't take much, but not many people do it.
Yeah.
One extra thought.
It's so
That's all it
respectful.
was.
It's so respectable. And it's she doesn't want the fame. She just wants her music to be an art that exists for people to access. And she doesn't really want a face to that.
Sounds
know
like
what she
she's
looks
reading Rick
She's
Rubin's new book.
gorgeous. She's so beautiful. She's I've had a crush on her for fucking ever.
On your
Now we're
mom?
getting
Dude,
to it.
gross. Ugh.
20 minutes
Blech.
in, and we're
Blech.
finally getting
Here's
the
the Oedipus thing.
Ugh. You got a crush on your mom, Steve.
Anyway,
What
let's
does your
move
dad
on. Let's move
Yanni
on
think
because
of
now
that?
I'm uncomfortable.
Okay, so Steve, actually, you have an entry in here under Zaragoza.
The thing is you guys are being unfair because
Your mom's hot, dude.
just because there was a moment where we were like, that's funny if my mom is Enya. My mom is not Enya. My mom just loves Enya.
And I want to have sex with Steve.
So I can be in love with Enya even though, my mom likes Madonna.
Your mom's Madonna?
You hear what Steve said?
Every time, every artist, your mom is, wait a minute. I thought she was Enya. What's the truth here? Guys, can I tell you something really quickly? Unless you want to keep talking about celebrities who should keep their mouths shut and stay, who should stay off Twitter, like
No.
Enya.
You talk
I'm
about
good.
the next thing.
Guys, check this out. Joe, this might blow your mind, but I think I watched The Rock for the first time last night.
The movie The Rock, not The Rock as in Dwayne Johnson.
The
The Rock.
movie The Rock.
That movie is fucking amazing.
It's really good. I think I maybe saw
That
enough of
movie
it.
is Michael Bay's best movie.
I think it might be Michael Bay's best movie. Elliot, have you seen
More
The
than
Rock?
Pain and Gain. I really like Pain and
Have you
Gain.
seen The Rock with Sean
I really
Connery?
I don't remember if I've seen that movie.
Elliot?
I don't have an opinion on it.
I have to highly, highly, highly recommend that you watch that movie, get real stoned or whatever, and watch The Rock as soon as you can so that we can talk about it. Because, the reason why I even watched it is because I was hanging with my friend Brett, and he was like, dude, I read this theory. Check this shit out. I fell in love with this theory. It's so good. He says there's a theory that Sean Connery's character in The Rock is James Bond. Did you know this,
Like
Joe?
a fan theory.
I've heard stuff of it. Yeah. It's I'll believe it. It's fine.
So at first it's a fan theory, and then you find out that like the writers and the set and like people on the set were like basically acknowledging it. And if you watch The Rock, Sean Connery's character appears like at the end of the first act or something, and he's this like criminal that's been locked away in prison for like decades, right? Like a decade or something, 10 years, 15 years, something like that. And then when you get to him, you're like, whatever. He was just this guy that was a really good escape artist, and he like used to work for the UK military or whatever, right? Like there's all these like
Just dropping little hints.
There's all these connections to it being James Bond, and then later on he keeps saying things that like that make you feel like he's James Bond. And then if you're a James Bond fan, there's like a timeline where it makes perfect sense that James Bond was involved in this like The Rock thing.
There is that moment in the movie where he's like, "Hey, Nicolas Cage, this is just like that time in Octopussy," and you're like, "Wait, what?" What?
Oh, hi again, everybody. It's me, Elliott, doing the ads. I hope you're enjoying this episode. I've been gone for the past couple weeks. I had school, and this time I'm in Colorado for my birthday. So happy birthday to me, which is tomorrow at the time I'm recording this. Anyway, you know what makes me really happy on my birthday? Me undies. So this year we're saying goodbye to things that don't bring us joy, like one-sided relationships, overpriced juices, and scratchy, bunchy underwear. Ugh. We're saying hello to comfort and feeling our best, and that starts with your undies. It really does, every day, like a 90s rom-com makeover scene. Me undies is here to spruce up your collection, and now you can get 25% off your first order as well as free shipping. Okay, now we've talked about MeUndies a lot, and I'm wearing them right now, and I have to tell you, they're incredibly comfortable. I'm starting to get sentimentally attached to the collection I have because they send it to us quite frequently, and that's why you should also join their membership, which is really lovely because it's just a nice little surprise to get in your mail, and it feels like a fun little secret, and they have really fun patterns, even though I go with straight normal colors because that's what makes me more comfortable as a person. It's I like the basic colors, and it makes me feel, that's just me, but other people prefer like donuts, and I think that's great too. MeUndies will hook you up with soft breathable undies and ultra comfy bralettes, bold colors, fun patterns, or calming neutrals that go with every vibe and vibe. Available in sizes XS through 4XL. They have a size and look for every body. Get it? Everybody. Once you fall in love with your super cozy products, you can sign up for a membership and get them shipped to your door monthly. The membership is free to join each month. You'll choose a new pair of undies, socks, or a bralette. Plus, you'll get exclusive first looks on deals and products, and we'll save up to 30% on all their snuggly, soft stuff. So to get 25% off your first order as well as free shipping, go to MeUndies.com/Valley. That's MeUndies.com/Valley. The hype is real, everybody. If you're not impressed with MeUndies, guess what? Your first pair is on the house. That is a promise. So go to MeUndies.com/Valley, and we look forward to hearing about how good you feel on the inside of your pants. And and back to the show. Inside of your pants. I hope. Hey, everybody, we're apart in time and space, but it's like we're the same because of the power of editing. Bye.
What?
But anyway, so I think so. I'd seen The Rock in like pieces, so I took that theory that that Sean Connery is playing James Bond in The Rock, and I watched it that way, and it's brilliant. It like totally is like, holy shit, it's like decommissioned James Bond who was like a war criminal or whatever, and now they need him for this.
I mean, I do that with every Sean Connery movie. League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. James Bond.
He's James Bond.
Yep.
Anyway, but The Rock is so good.
Dragonheart.
And yeah. Elliot, please watch The Rock. I don't want to say too much, but if you love Nicolas Cage,
I do love Nicolas Cage.
If you love San Francisco,
and if you love San Francisco,
A lovely place. Lovely
and if you
sample.
love Ed Harris,
Oh my goodness, where did his hair go? Never had hair.
and I think you're right. I think he never had hair, just like Leslie Nielsen was always gray.
Same with Enya too.
And Steve Martin.
Wig.
And Enya, it's a total. Elliot, did you Google Enya? You should Google Enya and see what she looks like. So we can get a confirmation.
Please, please let it be Steve's mom. Please.
You're dragging.
Enya, and last name of Enya is Zaragoza.
Anyway, all right, we'll stop talking about The Rock, but man, let's talk about it again after you see it, Elliot, please.
Great.
I know, Steve, your mom listens to this every once in a while. I made a dumb sexual reference in regards to, like, you just do that about moms sometimes. You're a lovely lady, Mrs. Zaragoza. I apologize for that earlier. I'm a 40-year-old man. That's not okay.
You're so sweet, Joe, but my mom
Good
knows
talk.
that
Okay,
we're
so the
all
edible-
broken people. So
Now that Joe's doing the Oedipal thing, let's go ahead and just remind you guys that you can't keep hitting.
Steve said
Steve's
take an
mom.
edible before you watch it, not an edible.
audible. Elliot, did you see Enya?
Yeah.
Ooh, if you smoke weed with your mom and she takes a big pull, do you call it an edible?
She'd have to take the edible, right? She'd have to eat an edible.
Well, it's
Enya looks exactly like how I imagine Enya to look.
Right? She totally does. But she's Irish, so she's got like this like wonderful Irish accent.
Oh, that's great. Isn't that lovely?
Yeah, so add the Irish accent to it, and you're like, yeah, she's a babe.
Elliot, tell us about your scary plane.
How many crystals
Thing
does
that
she
happened?
own, you think?
Those who listen to the ad portion, thanks. In it, I mentioned that I'm not going to be here this week because I was going to go to Colorado, and we got to the airport in the rain, and the plane was delayed an hour and a half because they had to, quote unquote, fix something on it. And that's always a little
Been there.
disconcerting. Yeah. And so then we were halfway. I've never had this happen before. We were halfway between LAX and the Denver airport. And I looked at the ETA
that's like
on the
Nevada?
app.
Where are you?
It would probably been like we're dead halfway. Like, I don't know wherever you could.
Yeah,
look at a
maybe
map.
that's even before Nevada.
Okay.
Maybe I think we were over Nevada. I mean, it was like a 2.5 hour flight or something like that. So we're like an hour 15 in, and I look at the map, and it all of a sudden the ETA shoots up by like 45 minutes. I'm like, well, that's weird. They said it was going to be like clear skies and not like, we were only going to be like an hour and 50. And then I look at the map, and the plane's turned around, and then they get on the speaker, and the captain is like, got some bad news for you.
Oh no!
The thing that they were trying to fix is not fixed, and it was a door that is leaking, and so we have to turn around and go back to Los Angeles. And they did a U-turn, and they took us up in the air, and then they brought us back down, and everyone was upset, and everyone was getting quite ornery. And then they got on and said, the reason we can't just continue going to Denver and land there is because if we fly over the Rockies, the pressure could change so much that the oxygen masks might fall. And then I said, well, I'm glad we're going back to Los Angeles then, because that sounds scary as heck.
Did you have that collective moment on the plane, which we've all had at times when the captain comes on and says things aren't going the way they are, and then like half of the plane goes, "Oh, come on," and have that audible like just shitty response?
Oh, where people didn't care that it,
no, I didn't.
Like they didn't care about the safety aspect of it. They just
the
were bummed that
inconvenience.
the inconvenience.
Right, and you could they were like, listen to the, like, you can hear it from the back of the plane going like like really loud, like the air was
getting
not
sucked
okay
out of the plane.
Yeah, and so then they just
So
took
that
us
mean you
back
could go
and-
smoke over there real quick?
Just let it
I
out.
did light up when they said that. Yeah, I had
Just
a
right
joint,
under
and
the
so
door that's
Oh,
leaking.
man.
I did take a tiny edible before the flight, and so when it all happened, I just turned to Grace and I was like, "That's wild, man. That's crazy as heck."
That's not what you want to happen when an edible hits.
No, it was probably. I was like, I picked what a flight to do this
And-
on.
Man.
So-
Wait, so when they were like, we got to turn around because. So they were closer to LAX than they were to Denver.
No.
Well,
They
they
just
They just couldn't
go.
fly over the Rockies. Right,
the
right, right.
Rockies.
Okay, got it.
man.
Okay, so were you worried on the flight back that something bad could happen?
it kind of got a little like
Right?
Yeah, it was a little disconcerting and a little like, well, I'll be happy when this plane lands. And they were like, when we land, make sure you grab everything because this thing's going straight to the hangar. And they just made it sound like this is the biggest piece of crap plane.
We're putting this into a
anyone's
big.
ever been on.
We're putting this into a big grinder. So don't.
Can we
leave
get
your
a round
phone-
of an applause for the plane? It's been in commission for 30 years, where it will be decommissioning it right after this flight.
Yeah.
Damn,
We lost one of
that's
the wheels
scary.
already. It was very scary, and we could have kept going, but we were only going for like a day and a half anyway, so we opted
If you would
to
have,
just reschedule.
if you would have finished the flight,
Hang on, I
from
don't have
where
a
you
question.
were.
I just have an itch I'm trying to get.
Yeah,
if you would have finished the flight from where you were at that U-turn, would have the entire flight time been shorter to go to Denver, and did you spend more time on the plane and in the air because you went back to LA?
I believe we spent more time in the air, yes.
Oh no!
Wow.
Because we couldn't do it with the Rockies. They're like, we got. I mean, thankfully they got. It was like it couldn't have been. But the last time I flew, they landed us in LAX instead of Burbank, which is what we were supposed to land in.
Yeah,
It
your
was, like,
last
over
two
the holidays.
Ain't that been
Yeah,
good?
so I feel like I'm racking up like really weird plane experiences. Like I think I've been through most plane experiences except for that one. Really
Yeah.
bad one that people think about.
That one
And
that
I'm like-
doesn't have
Yeah.
a continuation.
Yeah, like your last one. That one was yeah. I was like, okay, this is just new, and everyone was pretty cool about it, but there were some pissy people.
So I'm very curious about flying is like a nerve-wracking experience for me. Like,
Yes,
I know it probably is for a lot of people, but a lot of people can internalize that, and I can't. I like am a nervous wreck when I'm on a flight, especially a long one. Like that flight would have been fine for me probably, but I'm curious about the statistics of things like this. Like, how often could something like this potentially happen?
Seems like it's more and more these days. If it's not like on the
Right?
ground, it's in the
Yeah.
like. Does it seem like the air industry is just like in total disarray and fucking
They are.
everybody constantly?
everything.
Yeah, because it also feels like they're like mistreated. Like the industry workers are treated unfairly and shittily and shit in the airline industry too. So it's like,
Yeah, like pilots aren't paid until
No.
they're in the air.
right.
Like all of the in the airport, taxiing, all that stuff, they are off the clock.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The
Uh-huh.
money
Oh,
comes out of the machine in their in the cockpit too.
Mhm.
There's a
Yeah.
money machine. Elliot, how many flights? It's so stupid. A money machine.
Yeah.
Here's your money. Elliot, how many flights do you think you've been on in your life? Hundreds?
No, I mean, hundreds can be hundreds, right? Maybe
Like since you were a kid. Like, did you travel a lot as a kid?
I don't know. Probably I would say less than 100. I think.
I don't know.
I didn't travel on a lot of planes as a kid. It was always very exciting. What about you guys? What would you say? I mean,
I mean, if you
planes-
average twice a year, right? That's 4 flights. If you're going someplace and back, so you're probably doing at least 4 flights.
Oh, I do way. Yeah, so that's way more. Maybe I got yeah, way higher.
Maybe it's hundreds? I don't know if I'm in the hundreds yet.
I don't know.
But I've got, like, because I didn't start flying till I was like fucking 27 or something.
Mhm.
I still see. I understand the flight anxiety because I've had it maybe like once or like when I was younger, like when I first started flying. I still have a slight sense of wonder when I get on a plane. Like if I get the window seat, I'm kind of in heaven because I just
Yeah.
love looking out and seeing the world. And
It's
and
amazing.
getting
You can
to
also
see it
sleep-
from there. Yeah.
You can
Yes.
sleep like anywhere. It's a superpower, and it's really
Yeah.
infuriating.
so if I'm stuck
to be
in that
next to.
middle seat, I can definitely turn on my superpower and just go to sleep.
That's great. Yeah,
That's
that's
pretty
really
tight.
what a blessing. You've gotten the favor of the Lord.
But Elliot, do you think that statistically you have earned weird flights now? Because it's like you fly enough, you start to experience the weird shit like that.
Yeah, I got really in last year to the Delta Sky Miles. I get really into those things. Is that what you're asking?
No, I'm asking if statistically you think that it makes.
Do you want to know what? Do you want to know what perk programs I'm a part of?
Yeah, can you
Sky
give me
Miles are
some
bullshit.
Can
You
you
gotta
send me
rack
some
so many up.
documentation? I'm trying to join the American Airlines Rewards program.
Yeah, you get 50,000 free miles off just for signing up.
And that's half of a plane ticket.
Mhm.
But no, what I'm
They
saying
don't take
is
you anywhere. They
like
just take you up and bring you right back down.
Because you were saying you've experienced like almost all of the flight blunders
I
that
mean,
you can.
a lot of turbulence, like bad turbulence, and then
But do you
getting
think
turned
like you've
around
earned
midair,
those? Like because with
like the karma.
statistically, do you feel no? Do you feel like I've flown enough that I am now experiencing the blunders of flights
Hey, I don't know.
statistically?
Maybe it's so often that I'm bound to.
I've
That's what
Maybe
I'm
it's me.
saying. Yeah,
I've
maybe
had
it's you.
It might.
a duck hit my windshield and cracked the
No.
windshield once.
That's
I've had the smell of smoke from the back occur
Shit.
on a flight, and we had
cigarette
to.
smoke or fire smoke, or they
It was
turn on
fire.
the
It was like
heater.
fire smoke, and they were like, by the time we landed, they were like, "Yeah, you guys might have smelled something. Don't worry, we got it. It's good that we landed." And then we got off the plane and never heard
Jesus.
anything more about any more of it. And I've had a dream mid-flight, a very lucid dream of my plane going down and hitting the ground, and I'm dying in a fiery wreck. And then I just woke up on the plane. And it was one of the worst,
Nice.
one of the worst plane experiences I've ever
You
had.
know, that
That's like
is
Final
worst
Destination.
case, second worst.
Did you scream?
I don't think I did because it was almost like the life in the voice was sucked out of me
Jesus
in the air.
Christ.
Yeah.
It was not.
I used to have the only like recurring dreams I've ever had have been plane crash dreams.
Oh, really?
And then the plane will change, but always inevitably I go down and I have that falling sensation, but never on a plane, Joe. My goodness.
It was the worst.
What was
I would
Elliott,
cry.
Have you explored that in therapy? What do you think
Yeah.
it means?
There's all a bunch of theories about planes. They're like they used to be
No control.
dragons and other planes. Yeah, lack of control, or you're trying to get somewhere but you can't get there. There's
They
all
used
that
to be
fun stuff.
dragons. Is that what you said? They used to be dragons.
People would dream of dragons, and now we don't dream of dragons anymore. We dream of planes. The same way we don't dream of like
Oh,
crazy. Our dreams are replaced by our culture's images.
interesting. Dragons
That's
are way
awesome.
cooler than planes.
Elliot, I love when you bring
Yeah.
us these little morsels of stuff that you've been learning in your educational journey, and I want more of it.
I
you know how I
actually have
do
never
my-
been in school this whole time. I just make stuff up.
Whoa,
And make it
that's
seem-
awesome.
Yeah,
And you're never wrong. Who are you?
and
Should
I
be a
do it
politician.
for attention. Yeah,
I do
Thank you.
it for attention.
I do it for attention.
Elliot, I think we should do a interesting things you learned in your studies, just like I do my Hollywood news.
No, you don't.
That title.
This
is
is
so
what
bad.
this song, Steve. I don't know if you look at the emails, but this song is the song that gets us copyright every time.
Is it because of John Williams? Here, I'll find a royalty-free one.
I mean, you already killed it. We're dead. We already got the strike.
Dude, we've been taken off of YouTube.
I'll call our accountant.
We're in trouble.
We're in trouble, guys.
Guys, it's time for Hollywood news. We'll very quickly just go through some headlines here.
I like that song better.
Yeah, that's nice.
Guys, box office news. Cocaine Bear sniffed up $23 million over the weekend, but Ant-Man 3 is suffering a 69% drop. That movie is just leaking money.
I saw Ant-Man
And
3. It was totally fine. And I saw it in 4DX. Again,
did it make
And
you
that was
small when it went small? And did it make you big when it went big?
Whoa!
it's quite impressive technology. And that was part of my birthday, and we did the 4DX thing, or shaking you around. We did that after Grace got us massages, except she filled out the massage papers with the wrong massage.
Uh-oh.
It was the painful one. And
Which one did you get?
It was called Office Syndrome. I don't know if you've heard of this. They got directly, entirely on me with the elbows.
Oh,
and
their whole
went
body.
like knees on back of my knees, and I was crying. And then eventually, both at separate times, Grace and I would be like, "Can you please go a little lighter?" And we were sore. Yeah, still a little sore.
Whoa! And so
then
you
saw
you
40X.
immediately went to a 40X.
And then Grace was like, "Do you want to do go-karts afterward?" And I was like, "Are you trying to kill me?" Like,
it's was it Masochism Monday?
It was.
Elliot, that's not when you're going in expecting just a little bit of soothing, just human touch, and you get that instead. That's oof.
She did things I don't think were legal. Like, I think it was assault, basically. And
these are people that are trying to get away with assault.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They're trying to be paid for assault.
Now the question is, would you go back and do it again?
I will never ever get that massage again. I will go back to that place for sure.
Guys, in keeping with sort of superhero news because of Ant-Man, Hugh Jackman is reportedly says his voice has been damaged from growling and yelling too much as Wolverine.
And his wife.
And children.
Wait, what?
I growl too much at my wife and children. No, he damaged his voice from being Wolverine. Apparently.
Also, that's pretty inappropriate joke because his wife died on a ski accident. So.
Damn, Joe. You
That's
better
Liam
apologize to
Neeson.
my mom again.
No, that's not what happened.
Liam Neeson.
Please apologize to my mom. But yeah, so Jackman, I don't know, this might be, because, he loves doing his musical stuff, and he loves doing, like, Broadway and singing. So maybe he's
we love when he does his music.
well, he also loves it a lot. He loves doing it.
He's a talented man. He's beautiful and he's talented.
Guys, this is huge news. The woman who returned Lady Gaga's stolen dogs
Suing her.
is suing her for not paying her.
Half a mil.
Jennifer McBride claims Lady Gaga owes her $500,000 for returning her stolen dogs. Why? Why
show me the lie.
$500,000?
Lady Gaga offered $500,000 for the return of the
No
dog.
way! Is that true?
Yeah, that's a binding agreement, and
then
so
she didn't do it.
She didn't do it because the woman who returned it was the same woman who happened to take the dogs in the first place.
The lawsuit goes on to claim that McBride has suffered compensatory
Danny
damages.
McBride suing her. Yeah.
Compensatory damages.
She's the woman who stole the dogs?
No. Wait, she
Yeah, that's what I'm
is?
saying. That's my understanding.
Wait. Okay, hold on. Let's read this article here. BuzzFeed News previously reported in February of 2021, Gaga's two French bulldogs, Koji and Gustav, were stolen in a robbery in which Gaga's assistant was also shot. Whoa, I didn't know that. In April of 2021, 5 people were arrested in connection to the robbery, including Jennifer McBride, who eventually turned in the dogs. After McBride turned in the dogs, Los Angeles police discovered she had a relationship with the father of one of the men arrested for the robbery.
I thought you were about to say the dogs.
McBride was arrested for accessory attempted murder, and in December 2022, she pleaded no contest to 1 count of receiving stolen property. She was sentenced to 2 years of probation.
What an annoying human moment this is.
So she's saying because Lady Gaga offered $500,000 with no questions asked.
Could you imagine if she wins this lawsuit? Could you imagine?
Or just settles. Like, even via anything.
Yeah.
Honestly, if I were Gaga, I'd fight the fuck out of this.
Do you think they'll put the dogs on the stand?
I'd be like, my assistant was shot. My dogs were stolen. There's no fucking way I'm paying anybody for this.
Well, no way she's paying anybody that had something to do with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Her assistant was shot. Her dogs were stolen. The person and those people were involved in that. So, like, fuck off.
It's like when a robber sues, like, a Pizza Hut that he tried to rob and he slipped on ice outside of the door on the getaway and broke his leg.
Yep.
And some people have one weird shit like that. That's the crazy part.
Yeah. Okay. The Mandalorian has no ending planned, says Jon Favreau.
Good. Keep it going. Never
They're
stop
not-
making Star Wars.
They're not. There's no finale that they're building to.
I don't
Excellent.
plan on ever dying, says John Favreau.
John Favreau says, I don't plan on Disney stopping giving me money.
I will live forever on my dragon in the sky.
John Favreau says there's no ending they're building to, which is always a
ever
good
works?
sign.
Yeah,
No.
is that
Never works.
Lost didn't exactly get
It's
rave
bad.
reviews.
This is
Game of Thrones didn't.
my
have really an
prediction.
ending.
Oh, Game of Thrones went to shit. My prediction is they're gonna do something in a future season 6 or something, and it's gonna completely ruin a story element from season 1 or 2 or something, and then people are gonna argue forever about how like they should have just ended it after season 3.
I have a prediction. I
Okay.
think we're gonna have a James Bond Sean Connery situation where Pedro Pascal from The Last of Us gets infected, but he drank some of Ellie's blood, and so he lives forever.
And he gets frozen in ice.
and then he becomes the Mandalorian later on in life because he's a cold soul who has lost everything anyways.
Exactly.
And he's able to do the bounty hunter-esque shit and live that lifestyle because this is the way.
And Grogu is Ellie.
Nice.
You know, actually, both of those shows are they both come from something called Lone Wolf and Cub, which is an old I want to say.
Are you talking about the
Japanese-
storytelling element?
Yes, the whole
Yes.
like a person taking care of a
We
kid.
sprinkle a little Joseph Campbell in there. We got
Yeah.
some stories. We got
Yeah.
some biblical elements, guys. We have to go because
Wait, I have a final.
Wait, okay. Do your
You're the one
final.
who had to
then
go.
This is I know, but this is important. Ryan Johnson
no way.
calls out horrifying practice of streamers purging their libraries. We've got Arrested Development has left Netflix for good, and there's no signs of it coming back. And apparently, big streamers are taking beloved shows away whenever they want to, and we can't do anything about it. What do you guys think about that?
I mean, we really can't do anything about it. Like I get it. They could do what they want.
Yeah,
Like
So
it
by-
sucks. It
so you
You
sucks.
say you don't have an opinion, Joe. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
You don't have an opinion.
Do you think
I
that
like at a loss.
piracy? Do you think piracy will be on the rise as a result?
Piracy never went away, but what might come back, and it's already kind of happening in a nostalgic way, but now it'll become a necessarily nostalgic way, is that people are rebuilding their physical DVD and media libriaries, and I
Yeah.
think it'll lead to that.
It's a weird timeline.
Well, look, I mean, the art book for Tears of the Kingdom leaked.
Ooh,
And have you looked at it?
I've looked at a few. I'm trying not to look at it.
Yeah,
but
I
it's
don't
popping up
see
a lot.
any of that, but I'm excited.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Final. I'll bring a little entertainment news in. It makes me happy. George Watsky dropped a new album.
Yeah.
Did he send you guys a thing? Did you guys get things in?
I
from
got
him?
nothing from George Watsky ever since that incident at VidCon 10 years ago.
The Watsky incident of VidCon 10 years ago, as people call it. It's awesome. It's his like final like album in the trilogy. He's turned it into like a glow. So there's like 9 tracks, and he's turned it into a like global escape room to unlock the other 9 tracks. It's an 18-track album, and he's turned it into basically a big puzzle that the community needs to solve together to release
okay.
the other 9
That's
tracks.
really cool.
I couldn't open the puzzle that was sent. And Grace had to figure it out, and then she found the album in there, and I was like a QR code for the album. I was like, oh, that creative son of
Whoa,
a gun.
good on Grace for figuring that out.
She's a smarty pants, and it also when she finally did get it open, it just had a note also from Watsky that said, "Hope you and Joe and only you two are doing well," which I thought was like a pretty nice, like sweet thing to say.
Hashtag the Watsky incident 10 years ago at
Yeah,
VidCon.
I know. I listen. I know what I did, and he does too.
His video, the songs that he's dropped, the singles are great, the albums are great. I'm a huge fan. But then in his announcement, he also, I don't know if you saw this, Elliott, he said like he's like, I don't want to use the word retirement, but this journey of me as a Watsky is probably over in some way. And I was
Wow.
like, whoa.
Yeah, he announced that this might be the end of the Watsky
whatever Watsky is.
Whatever Watsky is, yeah.
He'll still be a George Watsky, but he may not be a Watsky anymore.
It's not like a retirement per se, because he said he might drop more Watsky stuff in the future, but he's an artist that evolves,
he's an artist.
like all good artists, and he'll probably just who knows, maybe we'll see him like in movies or something.
I don't know. I'm a huge fan of his art. I'm a huge fan of his person. I think I've always been just wowed by his. We were talking about thinking a level deeper. He thinks 10 levels deeper. I think he's a good person, and I'm just happy for him. And I think people should go check out his stuff.
Nice. Also, he has a beautiful Irish accent. And he doesn't perform live.
Steve's mom is
and
Watsky.
My mom is George Watsky. Well, guys, thank you so much for listening to this show. We appreciate you. We appreciate our patrons, our listeners, the casual folks too. And Joe,
Our
it's good to see
troopers,
you
our
back.
goobers.
Elliott, happy birthday, happy late birthday to you.
Thank you.
I hope it was wonderful. Sorry about the plane incident. You gonna try the trip again? You gonna do a do-over on this trip soon?
Yeah, we'll do it at some point. We're Sarah and Claudia, so they're coming to. We're gonna go to Universal next week.
Wonderful!
And try Mario.
Yeah, that's so nice.
I'll keep telling you about my schedule.
Sarah's in town next week.
Well, she's a sweetheart.
Well, if if it wasn't for the Sarah Whittle incident of VidCon 8 years ago, you could talk to her.
I know, and it's crazy that Watsky was a part of that one too.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you, Joe. Good to see you, buddy. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks for listening to the Valleycast. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.